Olubadan of Ibadan. It came as no surprise because he has been waiting for over 20 years for it to get to his turn. For many, it's a moment of pride, a moment of vindication, a symbol of resilience. But beneath the drums, the songs, and the royal fanfare lies a more complex story. A story of triumph and humiliation, of strength and weaknesses, of a man who has lived in both political glory and political disgrace. Yes, you got that right. Because in 2006, this man was removed from office by a political warlord, Adedibu. Now, this man is a man or a symbol of resilience. Rasheed Ladoja is not just another politician turned king. His life has been a circle of downfall and comeback. Remember in 2006, he was impeached as governor by the Oyo State House of Assembly under the heavy influence of the strongman Lamidi Adedibu. That impeachment was supposed to end his career forever. Adedibu reportedly vowed that Ladoja would never return to power. Yet, through the courts, Ladoja was reinstated after months in the political wilderness. Like so many people would have been today and never come back. His case was not like that of Fubara. This man, or this same man, once cast aside, now wears the crown of Ibadan. That's resilience. That's symbolic power. Now, if you look at it again from independence against godfatherism, Ladoja's greatest strength has always been his refusal to be controlled by political godfathers. And now, as a king, I believe he will not allow partisan politics to meddle in his rulership in Ibadan. He stood up to Adedibu when everyone else bowed. He paid the price for it, but in hindsight, he gave him an image of a man unwilling to be a puppet. In a society where godfatherism has destroyed democracy, that defiance makes his coronation even sweeter. Now, he's also seen as defender of tradition. In 2017, when former governor Abiola Ajimobi tried to create multiple new kings in Ibadan, Ladoja resisted. He insisted that the Olubadan system must remain sacred and undiluted. That stand earned him respect among traditionalists. Now, as king, he becomes the custodian of the very tradition he once fought to protect. Now, let's look at his vision for Ibadan. According to his coronation, Ladoja made a bold request: the creation of Ibadan State. That demand reflects ambition. He is not content with just sitting, on the throne as a ceremonial ruler. He wants structural recognition for Ibadan, a city of millions, a city with historical weight, rather. Now, whether or not the dream is realistic, it shows he still sees himself as a father for the Ibadan's relevance. And you remember, before this coronation, instead of him to allow all the mortgages and the lower kings come and pay money as they often do, he gave them 1 million naira each and cows, telling them to feed people in their domain. Now, but let's not be carried away. Every coin has two sides. Ladoja's story also carries heavy imperfections. Yes, imperfections. I know many people may want to come for me for this. Now, let's look at the impeachment saga first of all. Yes, he survived the impeachment, but let's not forget that the chaos it brought as governor, his inability to manage the political elite around him plunged Oyo into instability. And that instability, Oyo might never have recovered from it if not for by the grace of God. Lawmakers were divided, the courts were flooded with cases, and governance suffered. Resilience is good, but leadership should prevent crisis, not feed them. This is why in the end, people will praise Fubara for, pandering to Tinubu, because in the end, it has brought peace in Rivers State. What if Fubara had been impeached? Now, humiliation under Obasanjo. During the impeachment saga, President Obasanjo himself reportedly humiliated Ladoja, and that is why many people believe that Obasanjo may not even come for the coronation, but nobody can actually stop whoever wants to come for the coronation. Stories tells of Obasanjo dismissing him as finished, treating him as though he was politically irrelevant, but that is not the case today. For a man now wearing the crown, Those moments remain scars in the memory of Ibadan people, scars of how federal power once disgraced their son. Now, allegation of controversies. Let's also remember that Ladoja has faced his share of allegations. The EFCC once charged him over alleged mismanagement of state funds during his governorship. Now, I'm not supposed to be saying this now that he has become king, but we have to treat every side of the coin, and that is what Kojex yarns is all about. Though cases dragged and politics often tainted the truth, those things remind us that he is not without blemish. His governance, yes, were not purely defined by progress, but also of distractions and illegal battles. These are the things we must also take into account if we want to be fair to both him and the process that has brought him into power. Now let's look at the age and energy. At 81, expectations must be measured. Will he have the energy to push Ibadan agenda, or will his kingship be more symbolic than practical, as many kings have become in Nigeria? Yes, wisdom comes from age, but the rigors of leadership in a restless city like Ibadan require vigor. Otherwise, you will just be there like vegetable in power. Let's look at political versus traditional role. And here lies, perhaps, the biggest test. Can Ladoja remove the politician's cloak and truly wear the king's robe? Traditional leadership demands neutrality, moral authority, and cultural leadership. But Ladoja has been a partisan fighter for decades. The question remains, will he rise above politics and fall back into it? Balancing the perfection and the imperfection of this old man. So we see both sides. The resilience of a man who defied godfathers and reclaimed his place, a place of pride, and today he is now the king of Ibadan, the Olubadan of Ibadanland. And now he is standing above even politicians, because after God is the traditional ruler, if we must follow the tradition. Then the imperfection of a leader who once let political battles overshadow governance. Yes, have Ibadan people forgiven him? Yes. Has he, found his way back to, the good book of people? Definitely yes. The defender of tradition who now sits on the throne. The old wounds of humiliation that still hang around his legacy. The legacy of having been a man that was removed in 2006 but fought his way back. The man that was removed by thugs in the House of Assembly. Now, this duality, his perfection and imperfection, is what makes his coronation both inspiring and controversial. And to me, this is the biggest coronation Ibadan has ever experienced, because the whole of Ibadan was shut down. Rasheed Ladoja's coronation is more than a cultural event. It's a story of power, humiliation, resistance, resilience, and finally, redemption. It is Ibadan reminding Nigeria that it does not forget its sons, even when they fall. But it is also a reminder of Ibadan people. Kings are not perfect. Ladoja brings history, wisdom, and scars to the throne. Now, the question is, will he use the throne to unite Ibadan or push real development to demand Ibadan State? Or will it be another chapter of personal ambition wrapped in royal garments? Only time will tell.
President Tinubu. Ní problem Coronation Assembly torí pé káyọ̀ àwọn kan náà wò gbàgbà lọ ní Ìbàdàn ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tá a ní Ìbàdàn State àkànyìn náà tó ń sọ pé àwọn náà tó fẹ́ ní Ọ̀yọ́ State tó omi tó sọ pé gbogbo ní abẹ́ kápẹ́ Ọ̀yọ́ State méjì kò sí ó dàbí pé tá a bá máa wá pé kò ní ẹ̀kan ṣoṣo ní Bọ́lá Tinubu máa dálé Ìbàdàn State ló máa jẹ́.
Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I remain your boy, Ernest Omozupe Adebayo Koje. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Signing out. Peace.